Now this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. So shooting multi-camera, absolutely possible, absolutely an option.
Absolutely. You're much better off with two lesser cameras than one better camera.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Just get yourself in a backlit situation for the master, and then you're going to be fine.
What's going on, Indie Mogul? My name is Ted, and today I'm here with Nigel Bluck, who's an amazing cinematographer that has shot not only second unit on things like Lord of the Rings, but he's also shot a lot of episodes of True Detective, and most recently shooting the indie feature, Peanut Butter Falcon, amazing movie that's in theaters right now. Basically, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna walk through the production of shooting Peanut Butter Falcon, an indie movie, and talk about it not only from the script, camera and lenses, lighting, and then our secret sauce that was added by Nigel. Tell me a little bit about this movie. What kind of movie was it in the scale of production?
It's I'd say medium-sized independent movie. It's a really lovely little film with a huge amount of heart. They're sort of teaming up here for the first time. So they come out of the cornfield and Zach shows Shire his secret handshake.
What kind of secret handshake for what?
Bud, dude, friend.
Bud's dude's friend's handshake? All right, yeah. Let's go, hurry up. All right, 3 of those, 4 of those. One of those. Now what?
Like this shot here, this wide shot, it started to rain. So what we did here is, I shoot a lot of stuff 2 cameras. I love 2 cameras.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love single camera shooting as well, but you're really wasting
A lot of time.
a lot of people's time.
Well, I think a lot of people are scared about 2-camera shooting because they hear shoot single camera because you can only light for one setup.
It's bollocks.
It's bollocks. Okay, so how do we shoot for 2 cameras?
Well, we got to learn how to light first. Visualize the whole scene. Think where the light's going to be best for the whole scene, not just one shot in the scene. And then build around that. Just get yourself in a backlit situation for the master, and then you're going to be fine.
So why backlight?
Having a consistency on the camera side of their faces, and the side of the face that you're photographing is kind of the same. It's still in the shade.
We've got Shia LaBeouf here. He's red hat over here, and then we've got Zach, of course, over here. Here we've got, of course, our cornfield. Something look like this, right?
So all I knew I needed to do was find an edge of a cornfield where they were backlit. So the sun had to be here, and it wasn't there all day. It does this. So therefore you say, okay, we can shoot this scene this time till this time.
Yeah, this is probably like 2 p.m. and this is what, like 6 p.m. or something. And if it's backlight, it can be hard, it can be soft, and generally speaking, the quality
You'll get away with it. Yeah.
It's about the same.
It's the oldest rule in the book is, DPs just want everything backlit. It's just like, they just think they want it looks beautiful. It's not about that. It's about managing a production and being able to control the sun.
Yeah.
Is why we want it backlit. You're going to have to do less, and you're going to be able to work very quickly, and you're going to give the actors the greatest freedom.
Well, did you do any tweaks or anything like that? Was it all naturally lit?
There's no light here. The only thing I did was hang a lot of duvetine here.
Gotcha. So just a lot of duvetine. And of course, for people that don't know what duvetine is,
it's just black fabric. Blocks out the sun or to take light away from their faces. Worst thing you can do on an overcast day is start turning lights on. The best thing you can do is start taking light away and shaping it that way. I think a big piece of advice, especially in this day and age, is learn about good 2-camera shooting. Know about what you can do and can't do and what the limitations are. If producers go, I can't afford 2 cameras, well, what you bring to a film by just adding a camera and enough crew to run that camera
is so much more.
So much more than what the cost of the cameras.
Yeah.
It's like you help the schedule so much. You help the actors and director and the continuity and the things you can do. Sure. So basically, the first thing we did is the master this wide. That's a 40 mil. Make a great frame that action can exist within. Don't try not to move your master. Jack was over here on a long lens, 75. I wouldn't qualify this as an over. I'd qualify this as a sub-master because it's different than the overs.
Is there a reason why you chose to shoot it like that?
Well, yeah, I knew the action was going to go down here, around the corner, and see, my camera's just here, just out of frame.
That's your master.
That's the master.
Your master is literally just hanging out there.
Yeah. It was raining, so I knew that if I had the whole scene in masters and we only had it for one rain take, then we have enough to pepper it through and have some consistency rather than just relying on the overs, which might be all clean with no rain.
Oh, so by shooting multi-camera too, it gives you more options in case something unpredictable happens, like rain or a cloud coming across the sky.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the first part of the coverage, right? Which are the masters, effectively, which run the whole scene. And then the overs. One camera here and one camera there. We had to use the window of rain as much as we could.
In this case, you scratched the master.
They're gone.
You went with an over-the-shoulder for both characters as they talked. What lens were you using on this?
They're usually 50.
Usually about a 50. So really, I mean, this is 2 setups you shoot. 1, 2, and then you're out of the scene.
Which is pretty quick,
And that's amazing. You get 4 angles for 2 setups. That's incredible.
Yeah. This would have taken maybe 3 hours to shoot. Look, this is Zach's escape from the old people's home.
This will just slip out from under your nose. You two are close. Well, then you'll figure out where he's at.
It's a nighttime scene.
That goes from interior to exterior.
Yeah.
How do you cover a running scene like this?
The Grips had a bicycle, which is just like a big 3-wheel bicycle. It's nothing custom made, it's just a trike, you know? So the grip sits here, and then there's another seat here on Apple Box or something for a Steadicam operator to sit on, and a Steadicam operator to sit here. There's no motor, so it's silent, it's cheap, it's very good for adjusting to a human.
Yeah, so in this case, we're literally just biking this direction, and our lead actor is here and is running this way. So the Steadicam takes care of the bumps in the road.
It does.
And stuff like that, and then you get your clean shot of your actor.
There's not a lot of lighting involved. This is all street light.
No way.
You know, night lighting for me in the digital age is all about lighting to the street. So you go to the street at night and you look at what's there, look at the color temperature, the lights that are there, and the lights that you put in make them the same color temperature so it all belongs in one reality.
You said you didn't use a lot of lighting for
There's
this,
one
actually.
light here, just a little bit of front light.
So just a little
just for his
something
eyes.
here. And that's
stuff
what,
on his chest there.
what were you using there?
It would have been a Sputnik.
A Sputnik? Yeah, so just a little Sputnik light, and that's just giving us a little cast here.
When
Yeah,
he jumps out the window. It's just a very simple scene as well.
it's just one light.
Yeah.
So in this
and
case,
talk, look, go and talk to the street, get them to turn their windows, their lights on in the house while you're shooting.
to add a little texture in the
So
background.
there's something there, yeah. Yeah, night lighting is about keeping it simple.
Now, before we break down our last scene, I want to give a quick shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Now, if you're putting together a new directing reel, a DP reel, an editing reel, or maybe you're working on a YouTube show and have a new podcast, an easy and a fast way to share all this information is basically by putting it on your own website. Yes, that's exactly what we did. We chose Squarespace because of their amazing world-class designed, customizable templates. You can purchase your domain directly on Squarespace, or if you already have one, they've actually made it super easy to carry it on over. They also make it really easy to import all your content from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, making sure that your filmmaking portfolio actually resonates with your clients. That is a pretty cool all-in-one package deal if you ask me, so get 10% off of your first Squarespace website and domain, plus help support the channel by going over to squarespace.com/indiemogul to sign up for a free trial. Now, back to Nigel Bluck and the Peanut Butter Falcon.
The beginning of the raft trip, they've just built the raft out of a junkyard and they've just pushed off the riverbank right at the beginning of their voyage on the water.
I'm gonna give you all of my wishes for my birthday.
It's interesting because it's an incredibly emotional scene that we shot basically from behind the characters, which is not unusual in itself at all. I mean, French overs, which is what this is. French overs is when you shoot the over from behind the heads rather than the front. The actor's turning to the other actor and looking straight into their eyes, and the camera's here.
Yeah.
Then you're not seeing their eyes. But if the camera's here, you're seeing their eyes better. You're seeing it somewhere better than if the camera's here. The actors tend to go to where the camera is. They will tend to open up more to a camera that's a French over than they do to a camera that's a regular over. If the camera's here, they know they've got to make a decision to come around here. One of the reasons I decided to shoot this like this is because, well, there's 2 reasons. They're sitting on the edge of a raft. I can't get the camera out in front unless I then have another boat and another crane to get the camera in front of them. And I had a certain amount of days that I could use a stabilized head, only a couple. So I know there's some situations I needed a stabilized head to deal with the conditions, i.e. how fast the boat's moving. Yeah. And some days, like here, we're in a very calm place. I thought, well, we're going to be able to do a lot of this handheld. And it's also for me a very natural angle because the camera's just on the boat. If the camera was hanging off the front, it's a movie because it's an impossible kind of angle, you know? Whereas I liked being with them. I liked seeing what they're seeing for the first time. I liked seeing the road ahead. So I like mastering it here in this 2-shot. It's a voyage. It's about what's in front of them, not what's behind them with these guys. We cross-covered the overs. Simple 40mm camera back here, which we ran as a single camera. Yep. And then when we got in the coverage, I put one camera here and one camera here. Both handheld. It's just me sitting cross-legged with my wife over here. And the light's pretty good because, again, I'm backlit, right? So the light's here.
And this was by design.
Absolutely.
We're going to push the raft off this way to get in the backlight.
Go up the current this way, and yeah. And then the cross shooting is, we didn't have a lot of lenses. We didn't have 2 of anything. So one would have been a 50 and one would have been a 60 as usual. And we shot the scene in a couple of hours. And I like it also just because it's so simple and it's just thought about and considered, and it works. And you don't need much more than that, I don't think. You know, it's just, again, just choose less gear and make smart selections and just less is always, always, always more. Challenge your crew to be the smallest, the quietest crew. Because if you lead by that, then the rest of the crew won't do that. You create a quiet set, people can think and do their job well. Yeah. And when you're an actor, you don't want to want a bunch of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's a creative process going on, and there's a lot of very stressed out people on the edge, and it's all about curating that as silently as you can. And do more homework than you do on a $100 million film, because that's all you have. Good filmmaking is all about not the tools, it's all about how you conceive it and having a point of view and making sure it's consistent holistically. Shoot the film as a whole, always shoot everything as a whole, see the story as a whole.
Nigel, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. For people that haven't seen the Peanut Butter Falcon, of course, absolutely incredible movie. Again, the amount of times that I laughed and smiled and cried in the theater, seriously, this weekend, just the best. So thank you for making it an amazing movie. Thank you so much for watching this, of course, Nigel. It's great to see you, and we'll catch you guys next time. There you have it, guys, a breakdown of independent feature film cinematography with Nigel Bluck. If you want to actually learn even more from Nigel, we actually went into depth in our podcast. There's a link in the description. And I want to give a huge shout out to Squarespace once again for sponsoring this video. Consider going over to squarespace.com/IndieMogul to get that free trial of a free website and help support the channel. That's it for me, guys. I'm Ted. Thanks so much for watching Indie Mogul. Sorry, I just wish I could see a crew photo of you guys on the back of a trike. Maybe you can send that to me later.